So for sprint 6, we had to do terrain stuff and work on our projects a little bit. For terrain stuff, I was pretty behind. We did week 1, so I'm caught up on week 1. However, I'm not caught up on week 2 because I spent a lot of time making sure week 1 worked well, so that week 2 went smoothly, because week 1 did not go smoothly the first time. And I just haven't had a lot of time as well, so I just haven't gotten enough time into week 2. But I can show you that the stuff from that we're supposed to do week 1 is working. So for right now, as you can see, I'm tracking the AABB of the house, and I'm getting all of the cells that are underneath that. Zoom in here to show you that those cells are correct and it's all working the way it should. Additionally to that, I also have got the surface position working. So, show you this real quick so I can get the exact position via the triangles on here. You see that's right on the surface, and it kind of just smoothly follows it around. So I got those working well, so hopefully the next part should go smoothly. Like I said, haven't had a lot of time though, so a little backed up on that. Other than that though, I could show you the terrain stuff. So I've just got getting my cells stuff, getting the triangles. I created a cell data that I fill each time I want to do every time I fill a cell. So it's just a max, a min, and then the 4 positions for the triangles. Pretty simple there. Get the closest cell, just takes a position and gives me what row and column that cell is at, so that when I do the cell block, I can do that twice and get the max and the min of that AABBs to those 2 cells, and then just go through all those spots and get all the cells in between for that entire AABB where it would be colliding underneath on the terrain. For surface position, I just get the position cell, and then I check against the 2 triangles that it would be colliding with. So just get the normal, make sure that it's inside the triangle, because it checks both triangles. That's about it for that. So that all works well. So the next part should hopefully go okay. Other than that, I've done a little bit of work on the Connect stuff. I also know you wanted me to explain to you the impact that the Connect has by running every update. So what the Connect has to do is, in the initialize, it just has to set some stuff up for what information I want. So I'm just telling the Connect I want the body information, the coordinate mapper, and the open reader. So that's not a big deal. That only happens once when I start up the engine. So the update needs to be called every frame though. So that gives me what it does is it gets the latest frame, and then it has to check it, and it checks to make sure I got it. Then it sets the amount of bodies that were in that frame, which is going to be 0, I believe, for 1 person. Then I'm going to get that frame for that body, the positions. So basically I'm filling this array with the body positions data, and then I'm sending that into my process body, which is different now because I've kind of scaled it down. So now it's just going through those bodies that it's found, that I'm telling it to, and the ones that I'm telling it to track. It's seeing if it's tracked, and if it is, it's getting the right and left hand state, which for some reason calculates separately. So for now I left it in here, and then I get the joints. So this is getting me an array from the Connect. So I just have this p-body thing, or this joints array now, basically, that has all 25 of the joints data in it. And then instead of just going through all of the 25 joints and filling that with the screen position data and doing all that math, instead, when the user calls for like the right hand raised, I can just get the right hand, the right elbow, and the right shoulder information and process that. So that cuts out a lot of the, like, it cuts out a loop and gets rid of like 20 um, calculations that I'm doing for no reason, and then I can just use that data. So uh, when all the bodies to screen does is it pushes it onto a depth point, because the body joints are in 3D and I need them to be in 2D so I can read the x and the y of that. So it pushes it onto a flat plane so I can read just the x and y of where those body points are. So basically my goal for the manager, knowing this, doing that now, which I've kind of also did a little bit of jacking up with it. So when I run it now, I'll show you this. I hooked up the house so that when you raise your right arm, it goes forward, and raise your other arm, it goes backwards. Kind of just fun to do this. But so this the kind of things that I'm hoping to be able to do, but by doing like a registration system, I hope it'll be more efficient. So I updated my document with things that I feel like I'm gonna need. So I'm gonna need a manager that you register for the gestures you want. That manager will keep track of what gestures it's checking for, kind of like the input manager does. It also needs to keep track of what joints are being used, so that I'm not trying to fill that joint with data more than once if multiple gestures use the same joints. So it needs to keep track of that and only do all those once, and things like that. And then what kind of gestures I want, and then I need to make a game demonstration for that. I also put some things that I'm thinking about if you don't think this would be enough. So just go ahead and look at that, and you can just give me your opinion on what's in there. So that's all I got though.